Guys, this is Showtime with Showtime Shred Fitness over here. Size, growth, get big. Alright, stop it. Stop that. They got a mind of their own today. Alright, so, knee brace still, and almost 100%. Can bend at 30 degrees, gonna be back to 100% in no time. So, now I'm back into full recovery mode here. A few more weeks with the brace, then no brace, and then be like it never happened. So today's topic is the drug testing rumor that's been floating around. I don't know if it's true or not, but supposedly the IFBB may or may not start testing a little bit more for PEDs, anabolic steroids, etc., this is what. Now, I don't know if this is true or not. It could be a false rumor. But supposedly Arnold Schwarzenegger now wants to drug test the IFBB for anabolic steroids. And they kind of already do that. You know, they drug test for street drugs and everything else. And once in a great while, they might throw out a random test. But this is going to be more strict. Thoughts on that? Positives and negatives, right? A lot of people have tried this before, okay, and people who are very passionate about natural bodybuilding, I have a lot of respect for. Here's the deal with that, it's tough to police, guys. Still no really good testing out there for human growth hormone for the through the urine, so you'd have to go blood test, right? And that's kind of a lot of people don't like to be poked, right? Whether they're natural or not. Some people fear needles. Even there's some natural athletes out there who wouldn't want blood testing done. There is about 1% of the HGH will show up in the urine as compared to a blood test. So right now, that's hard to police, right? So that's going to give people an unfair edge, right? Here's what I'd like to see happen. Same thing they do in powerlifting now with the UPA and some of these other federations. They have check the box, right? Tested, non-tested. And a lot of people, believe it or not, will honor that. And that's the way it should be. Anybody who goes into a natural show when they're chemically enhanced, that's cheating, right? Especially if the majority of the athletes or all of the athletes are clean. So what do most people do if they're on anything at all? They don't just check the box. And natural guys don't get upset about the extra, $20, $25 that it costs to do the piss test or the polygraph, because it's worth it for you guys. Because just think how much money you're saving by not crossing over, okay? Because those PEDs can get a little expensive sometimes. And you've also got the whole issue of, if it is properly enforced, like they did one year where they tested so stringently, the athletes came into this IFBB event. It was when Lee Haney was the king back then. He still won the show, okay? But he was at least 10 to 15 pounds lighter, just as hard but smaller. And same thing with everybody else on the stage. Average body weight was anywhere from 5 to 20 feet, range that much, but 5 to 25 pounds less body weight with the same amount of hardness and striations and vascular, pretty much the same type of a physique, okay, just as hard usually. For most of the athletes, they look just as good, but significantly smaller. And what happened to those ticket sales? They plummeted, okay? It was the worst year in IFBB history for the sport, money-wise. And people say, oh, it shouldn't be about the money. I get that, but that's the reality of life. Okay, there's got to be some reward involved in order for things to be as big and as bad and as popular as they are. People want to see freaks. That's just the way it is. It's always been that way since the 60s or 70s era, when who really got the whole world, you know, really passionate about freaks, Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? So I'm curious to see what he wants to do with this, if he really wants to make it super duper clean, or if it's a genius plan of his to just be like, there was a year where they decided to drug test the American Gladiators, right? And a lot of them were on gear, and so they said, all right, here's what we're going to do. You guys are going to be tested in 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, whatever it was, right? Here's the date. Don't fail the test. So they had that time, that 30 to 90 day period. I don't remember how much they were given, but it was at least a month or two, maybe 3, when they were told when the test was going to be. So they had all the time to get everything out of their system. You know, some of the stuff is out as early as 48 hours, but that's only about one kind. It might be Probe, I'm not sure which kind it is. Might even be Sten. The majority of the rest are 30 days. Decaderblin takes 12 months, full year, right? HGH, like I said, unless you flunk the polygraph on it, doesn't show up in the urine. So they were all able, every single one of those motherfuckers passed clean. I'll say motherfuckers in a loving way, you know. I loved American Gladiators as a kid, and Andre Galloway competed against him clean, and he did a very good job. And I don't think there was anybody in the American Gladiators that could beat him at their own game, which is very impressive. But that whole thing was very good, because now they can tell the public, hey, we did a stringent drug test. We tested them all for steroids, every single one of them, and they all passed. So politically, that's a great idea. You know, you could even get maybe the Olympics to back it, so that you can do Olympic events now. And if they do decide to go the whole natural route, and Arnold does find a way, which is going to be an uphill battle, right? But if you can find a way to clean it up, let's just think, you know, we found the unicorn here, okay? And we found an even playing field for everybody to be clean, everybody to be natural, which is a 1 in 3.5 million shot, right? It's easier to find a unicorn or a freaking leprechaun at the end of the rainbow. But let's say it happens, okay? If anybody can make it work, keep the ticket sales up and everything, it's Arnold Schwarzenegger, because he very articulately, you know, talk about, you know, the sacrifices of being natural, and really pump up that these athletes are all non-chemically enhanced, and look at the beauty of it, look at the small waste. And I think another way to go is to take and make the classic drug tested. It's already got a weight and a height limit. There's already a bunch of Michael Spencer's one of them. He's all natural, and he's winning these big pro shows, doing a bunch of guest posing. Why not test that class, okay, and leave the freak bodybuilding non-tested? There's a way to check the box, right? That's another route. So there's a lot of things that I'm not really against him coming out and saying let's drug test. I think there's a way to make this whole thing work, but to test it across the board, that could be asking for trouble. It's going to be hard to enforce. It's going to be hard to regulate, unless he's got some kind of a fix on it, like I said, where he tells the people when they're going to be tested so that they can get around the test. Or if he's got some thing like the Soviets had, Putin is his name. He loves his weightlifters, right? He had a thing in place where the KGB would do the drug testing for the Olympic Games, the Winter Games, and all their athletes could take drugs all the way up to the day of the test, because the KGB would go into the laboratory and they'd switch out the urine so that everybody else would have to be off of all the gear a month or more, you know, in order to pass the test from the other countries. So that would give the Russians the opportunity to still take stuff all the way up to the day of the competition and have a better opportunity, a better edge to win the games. They'd won a shitload of gold medals. So that was a very intelligent, oh, it's cheating, isn't it? Maybe, but he was smart, and he got his country a bunch of gold medals. They pride themselves in that. Whereas Americans, they, you know, a lot of the public, they look at it as big, stupid muscle guys, and, you know, it kind of has a bad reputation, some of these strongman and bodybuilding and powerlifting athletes. So we need more, you know, charismatic guys like Matt Porter was, like Arnold is. Roger Baker's a great ambassador of the sport. Steve Thayer, Michael Spencer, Larry Neary, Mark Sindian. These people are all You know, and there's a lot of pros like that too. Ones that come out and really, Kai Green, phenomenal entertainer, right? It's got to be that combination of show business, right? It's showtime and it's prime time and it's muscle time, right? And it's this beautiful artistic stage combat combination of Beauty and the Beast all wrapped into one, right? Or if you really present things well, it can have a good following, be inspirational, and be inspiring. But again, it's got to be done just right, or ticket sales drop. All right. This has been Showtime with Showtime Shred Fitness over here. Size, growth, get big. All right.